Let's talk more about the child's right to a part of the program.
A lot of the rights are around safety and protection, and really that piece of the process mostly goes on before we're involved. That obviously for the children to be in the court system, somebody in community, whether it's a hospital, a teacher, another, somebody else has said, I have concerns about the safety of this child, physical, mental, some kind of safety of the child. So there are laws in terms of child protection, in terms of what parents or caregivers can and cannot do to their children or with their children, or if it's neglect, things that you must provide for children that sometimes are absent is kind of the obvious other side of that thing. And actually, most of our children are in child protection for neglect. It is not abusive behaviors, but neglect. And really helping families to look at how they can better serve the needs of their families as a part of the social work process. The case planning that our guardians are involved with is that case plan.
Mm-hmm. Bob, I want to go back to you. The youngster that you are involved in, you picked them up at their home?
The process is generally that you'll be assigned a case, or quite often it's a case you will choose yourself with some approval. Mm-hmm. And after that happens, then you would go to meet that child wherever that child might be. It could be in foster care, the child could be at a relative's, or actually the child could be at home under a few circumstances. And meeting with that child, you get to know that child, probably see that child a couple times a month, and that depends upon what the needs are there. Mm-hmm. But other than that, you might be visiting a teacher, a psychologist, other persons, the parents themselves, other persons involved in that child's life.
And I think the difference, and this is very important, is the guardian's role is to facilitate the child's needs being met. The social worker's role is to meet those needs. So it's a social worker who's responsible for transporting the children, in terms of both liability issues and that they know the children better. So in general, other than very specific cases, we discourage transporting children.
Well, mm-hmm. On a typical court date, mm-hmm. how do the advocate and the child connect?
They can connect before court. In the building. We meet at the Juvenile Justice Center. In Hennepin County, it's the Juvenile Justice Center on 6th and Park.
So does the social worker have the responsibility for getting the child to?
Yes, transporting is their responsibility.
Oh, I see. And so the advocate's responsibility is to hook up there, mm-hmm. and then
or beforehand. One of the things Bob didn't talk about as much is that a part of that interviewing or checking in is with the child. Our main requirement is seeing the child at least once a month. We do want you to do those collateral visits to the social worker or call the school or the teachers, but we want you to lay eyes on that child every month and to see how they're doing. And if they're old enough to verbalize what their needs are or their wants are, we want those documented as well.
Michelle,
we're focusing on the child.
Let's talk about that. Mm-hmm. Lay eyes on the child. Mm-hmm. Does that mean going to the child's home or wherever the child is?
Yes. And you have a lot of choices. You can go to the school, you can go to the foster family, you can go to the birth parent's home if you feel it's safe, and in almost all cases it is. Or you can go to a supervised visit if the children are in foster care and they assume that it's not safe for the children to visit right now at home. There's Reuben Lind and other places where you can watch a visitation along with the social workers. So you have a lot of options about where and how you meet children based upon where they are in the case process.
Are you expected to take the kid through a football game, basketball game?
Nope, you are not their mentor. You are a court-appointed special advocate.
Well, you don't
so this
do
is
that.
A very special role.
If you want to do that, can you?
You can do that once you're no longer their child advocate. You want to keep the bias out, and it's really hard. If people are looking for mentorship or tutoring of kids, that's a very different role. This is a role in terms of being their court-appointed advocate, making an unbiased, fact-based representation in court. Of course, we love our kids. Of course, we care for the kids on our caseload. But it's a very different hat we're wearing when we have court oversight.
We have less than a minute left. Will you look into that camera and tell us, give us a number or what we need to do if we want to volunteer?
Okay, call our office. It's Hennepin County Juvenile Court, and the number is 612-596-7403. Of course, I just gave you the number at my desk. The main number is 612-348-6824, and we would be happy to help you.
and you will get the office of Michelle Johnson at the Guardian at Litam's office.
Yep.
Well, my thanks to both of you
Thank
for being
you.
my
Well,
guests.
thank
This
Bob
has been-
and the
this has been-
volunteers.
This has been really
Thank
good,
you.
Bob.
He's
the
fabulous.
Volunteer. Thank you.
Join
much.
him.
And now you know, if you want to participate in the program, you know just how to do it. Well, that's it. That's all for this week's edition of our show. Thank you for watching. Until next time, make yourself necessary in somebody's life. Bye-bye.